Go.
I'm actually very surprised at the number of pro-2A folks who hate constitutional carry.
Yeah, me too. Because I mean, I love
I
constitutional
constitutional
carry.
carried this morning.
Yeah, I mean, only because you left your license at home.
Yeah, okay. We are the Armed Attorneys. Today we're talking about a whole mess of new gun laws going into effect in the state of Colorado, but don't tune out just yet because I think there's some new ones here that folks haven't seen before, and you'll want to be aware of these things because, the 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 march for gun control seems to be going in one direction, and everybody else just kind of seems to be lagging behind them, and so you'll want to know what's going on with this stuff. And then finally, I think actually some of our audience might actually agree with some of this gun control.
I think that we might have some pro-gun control audience right now.
Yeah, but before we begin, show your support for the Second Amendment by hitting that like button.
And I think we can just start by saying, poor Colorado. Poor Colorado. We are about to really dog on Colorado. And I will say, it's not your fault. It's not. It's all the Californians who rushed into your state, and now here you go with tons of gun control. And for the people who have lived there for their entire lives, I'm sure you're looking around saying, "What happened to my state?" And as Texans, we can absolutely empathize with you. Because here, there are, yard signs that say, "Don't California my Texas," all over the place because we are having similar problems. And so you might think you're safe, you might think you're in a red state, but as long as California's failed social policies continue to exist, they're coming for you. So I don't care where you are in the country, buckle up.
Yeah, it used to be a place that embraced rugged individualism, and now I'm just going to say it. If a vegan restaurant opens up in your neighborhood, it's time to start house shopping.
Yeah, I don't think you're actually even allowed to utter the phrase rugged individualism in California anymore. I think they criminalize that.
But, all right, so Colorado, you have eight new laws that are going into effect today, Wednesday. Some of these things have delayed, like they've been signed into law. The legislature's out of session. Some of these will have a delayed effect before they'll go into effect. But I think it's helpful go through these things, put our Colorado people on notice. But also, there's some weird stuff in here.
And get ready, because the weird stuff is just testing it out for other places, and in some cases testing it out for what people are going to propose on the federal level. So here we go. Where do we want to start?
Yeah, we'll link all these bills in the description below so that you can read them. Some of these don't have to spend a whole heck of a lot of time on. Senate Bill 3. This is just a ton of money to the Colorado Bureau of Investigations so that they can start tracing more gun crime.
Right. We've got Senate Bill 131, which is adding more places to the list of places that you cannot carry. So
yeah, the Colorado Capitol, Colorado
less.
Capitol, courthouses, child care facilities, K through 12 schools, colleges, and polling places.
Yeah. That's nothing stops crime like telling someone who's going to murder you that they're not allowed to break a carry law. So
yeah,
well done.
Get ready, Crime Research Prevention Center, to start updating your stats because it's about to get rough over there.
Rough.
They do a good job of tracking gun crime and where it takes place. Those numbers will blow you out of the water.
They will.
Next one, House Bill 1122. So this is, I'll say actually most states probably have something like this on the books.
Yeah.
It's a notification bill that if you're subject to a domestic violence restraining order, that you can't possess firearms.
Yeah, which you can't under federal law. So, here you are.
On a scale of 1 to 10, this doesn't.
Yeah.
They're telling you that you can't have a gun.
Right. And it's just notification. There are,
Do we think the order should exist in the first place? No.
No. But in Texas, basically, every legislative session, somebody files a bill that is like 1,000 times worse than something like this. Somebody always files a bill that says, if you have a domestic violence protective order, not only do you have to relinquish, because that's already the law, but you have to do it to the sheriff. We're going to mandate how you get rid of your gun. And that really grinds my gears because, first of all, anytime you give your guns up to the government, the chances that you actually get them back are more minuscule than you would imagine. Because
these were lost on a training exercise.
Well, that's they get lost, they get damaged. You get them back and it's been 2 years and they're rusted out, they're inoperable. Just even if, let's say you actually do effectively get them back, you'll apply for them because you're fully eligible, and 4 months later they finally have, and they send it for NIBIN testing and stuff, for ballistic testing, and it's
the worst one I saw, I want to say, was 2 sessions ago. They wanted to create a gun confiscation office in every single county in the state of Texas.
Oh, I remember that.
It actually made it to a hearing in committee, but it died. All right, what's the next one?
Oh, this is the one that I think some of our audience could get on board with. So guess what? You're pro gun control now, guys. But it is House Bill 1174, which takes the handgun licensing training course and doubles the time. So we are going up to 8 hours to get your handgun license. And I will say some of the most pro-gun people I know down here in Texas will tell you to this day that one of the worst things Texas did was drop our training course from 8 hours to 4, and would love to see it
And even hate
boosted back up.
I'm actually very surprised at the number of pro 2A folks who hate constitutional carry.
Yeah, me too. Because I mean, I love
I constitutional carried this morning.
Yeah, I mean, well, only because you left your license at home.
Yeah, okay.
But I mean, yeah, no, I love constitutional carry. But yeah, I mean, look, and I will say that unlike the liberals who just, you have to be in lockstep or else you are persona non grata, like, I very much believe that as long as we're all pro-gun, like, we can all find a way to get along. And so, it's fine. I mean, it's fine. But yes, people get in really big fights about this, and they get in really big fights about the licensing requirements and how much work should go into it. And I will say, personally, was very happy with my 4-hour course down here in Texas. I would be mildly to moderately annoyed if I had to go take an 8-hour course. However, lots of people watching are going to be like, that is the best way to do it.
I couldn't hear any of that. You've already been canceled. The next one is Senate Bill 66. This is the opposite. We talked about this the other day about these financial institutions assigning merchant category codes to firearms, ammunition, accessories. Texas, we prohibit that. We talked about some states that are requiring it. Well, Colorado, you are now on the list where your electronic transfers, these get assigned merchant category codes. The government is going to de facto know. I mean, this is the de facto gun registry, because while the government may not be collecting the list, guess what? These credit card processors, they got the list, and they are going to give them to the government.
I would say my newest catchphrase, which is cash only, no papers, except Colorado is also one of the states that heavily restricts to whom you can conduct a private sale. So
yeah,
cash only, no papers only works if it's like
your family
immediate
member.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if they're making me pay for a gun, like,
we're not related.
No, I know. It's like there's an exchange of goods. Like, I'm buying that gun in like fried chicken.
Yeah.
And some kind of meals. All right, so we have House Bill 1349. This is going, it's not the law yet, but it is going to the voters, which is, should we impose an additional tax on the Second Amendment?
Yeah, 6.5% excise tax.
No.
This is going to be on the ballot in November. So, Second Amendment on the ballot in Colorado.
Yep.
Gun folks, I mean, you need to. I would say they're a little de-energized. This is my cursory glance. Everybody seems low energy, Jeb, right now.
Low energy, Jeb.
This is something where you're about to get taxed on this stuff. You need to go out and vote.
6.5% is when we're talking about like baseline, a couple $100.
Don't make me do math.
Well, I know. Even lawyers know, like, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. All right. Next one we have is House Bill. This is 1353. This is the craziest one out of all. I have not seen this kind of proposal anywhere else in any other state.
No, this is the one that really scares me, and this is the one I think everyone should be very, very focused on.
So this is gun stores are going to, in addition to having their federal firearms license, they're going to have to acquire a state license to sell firearms. Now, I think that sounds like a violation of preemption. It sounds like the federal government has occupied that space, but we'll see how this all shakes out. Those licenses cost $400, and now they're going to get their own little second private. Well, it's not private. They're going to go get their own second Colorado-style ATF.
Yes, so it's
they're
not
going to be subject to inspections and all kinds of stuff.
That's the part that's the most disturbing. I mean, yes, another license. Yes, more money for another license. All of those things are terrible. But on top of that, extra inspections. Now, Colorado has its own little tiny version of the ATF with which they get to go inspect your business and rip your license. And it doesn't matter if you have a federal license and if the ATF thinks you're doing the right thing. If the state of Colorado says, no, you violated our license provisions, we're yanking your license, you're not going to be able to operate. They're going to put you out of business.
If somebody rides into my gun store on skis and tries to take a license.
You think it's like that? You think it's like an 80s movie where like you're going to have to ski for your gun store?
One more
competition.
One more ski competition to save the gun store.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, totally.
Uh, this is what a Texan believes Colorado to be like. This is like the Northeast version of people being like, doesn't every Texan, ride a horse?
Ride a cow.
Ride a horse to school.
Sure.
Like it's like we're like, oh, how many ski competitions have you won in order to
Save your youth center.
Yeah. All right. Now we've got House Bill 1348, which is a transportation law requiring hard-sided locked cases for certain transportation in vehicles, which is, I mean, Lord help you if you get in trouble in your car and have to use it.
Yeah.
Hard to get to.
Or for folks traveling through the state of Colorado. I mean, that's the other bad part about all of this. Maybe you're not from Colorado. You've been driving through it your whole life, and now you have a new transportation law that you are subject to. So this is also one of those reasons why, hey, you just can't ignore the law changes going on in not your state.
That's absolutely right. And frankly, this is when you start doing that mental checklist of these are the states that I am not going to travel to. This is, we've got good reasons to add Colorado now. Add that to Washington, Oregon, California,
Illinois,
New York, New Jersey, Illinois, Massachusetts. Sorry, everybody who lives there, but like
Delaware, Connecticut.
Lovely country, but for your gun laws. Oh.
But we'll have all these laws linked down in the description below if you want a more full list, if you want to read the text of these bills. You can check those out here. But we hope you enjoyed this discussion. If you did, consider subscribing, hitting the like button, and help us fight the anti-2A algorithm by sharing this video.
And don't miss us every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 5 p.m. Central. Until next time, we're the Arms Turners.